It's hereby called to order at 7 p.m. on April 16, 2013. All members of the council are present. We have a quorum. Would you please rise to pledge allegiance to the flag? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on our agenda is the approval of our minutes from the April 2nd council legislative meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to the meeting minutes? If none, the chair will entertain a motion for approval.
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second it.
Is there discussion?
Yes, if I could ask for one change, turn the page and make sure. Yeah, it was on page 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth paragraph down, Councilwoman Brummel, and it said on the last sentence, and misleading information posted in the Guardian, not a website, or just in a newspaper. Well, actually, I mean, we can say the Guardian.
This is page 2.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
As Councilwoman Brunel commented on that show awareness more, is that what you're talking about?
Yes. It's on the last part of the sentence.
Would you make a motion to amend the motion to approve?
My apologies. I'd like to make a motion to amend the original motion that we approve the minutes with one change on page 2, that the fifth paragraph down, last part of the sentence, be changed from on a website to in the Guardian.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on the amendment? All those in favor of approving the amendment to the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
Okay, the motion passes 4-1. Now, we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes with the amendment. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve the meeting minutes with the amendment, please signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Okay, we're at our public comment section of our meeting. The council is now open the floor to comments from the public. Those of you, if you haven't signed in, we'd like you to sign in the clipboard at the lectern. If you have signed in, we'll call your name. Please approach the lectern and state your name and address. You'd like to speak no longer than 5 minutes about anything you like. Please keep it civil and respectful. Would the council manager please call first name?
Alreasin.
Alreasin, 632 Conowingo Road, Conowingo. Tonight the council will introduce a resolution to reject the Maryland Gun Control Law, SB 281. Some want to pass an ordinance to prevent county enforcement of this law. This is called nullification. Nullification was a practice espoused by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, the father of our Constitution. However, nullification by South Carolina in 1832, the U.S. nullification crisis, which I never heard of in school, was against a tariff act by Congress. South Carolina actually formed an army to resist federal intrusions and intervention intervention. This set the stage for the Civil War. The Supreme Court has ruled that federal law supersedes state law, and courts have ruled that state laws override local ordinances. Today in New York State, 126 communities and 52 of 62 counties have passed resolutions rejecting the New York State's gun control law, similar to the resolution that's going to be presented tonight. No New York community or county has proposed nullification of this law, nor could I locate any nullification attempt in any other state with a very similar law. That would be Colorado, Connecticut, Maryland. Many sheriffs throughout our nation said they will not enforce these laws. Our county sheriff has stated at a public meeting that he will not assist state efforts in enforcing the gun control law in Maryland. Regardless of the county council's position or that of the executive, the county sheriff is basically independent of county government. So would he enforce an ordinance that required him to not enforce a state or federal gun control law or any law not meeting the approval of the people or the county government? Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Donna Caudill.
Donna Caudill, Elkton, Maryland. I'd just like to thank Dr. McCarthy for introducing Resolution 38-2013 in opposition to the Maryland Firearm Safety Act. It's a great first step, and I think that hopefully there's a lot more that we can do. Just to let you know, Commissioner Rothschild from Carroll County will be speaking this Thursday at the Republican Club, the Northeast VFW, talking about the Second Amendment and possible nullification. I know there's been discussion around the nullification and even the petition drives. Also tomorrow, Delegate Parrott will be issuing a press release probably about the petition drive that we can get started. And I just want to let you know, Cecil County Patriots are going to be heading up the petition drive in Cecil County once it gets started. And after the process begins, we're going to have locations and opportunities to become involved. So we like to get everybody involved. We need a lot of volunteers. And you can get the information at CecilCountyPatriots.com. But again, it's good to see the discussion in Cecil County starting. And again, I want to thank Dr. McCarthy for bringing this resolution up. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
That's all.
Okay, is there anyone else who wanted to speak?
Good evening. Apologize for tardiness.
Joe, name, home address.
Joseph Carabetta, resident of planet Earth. Next week I'll have the latitude and longitude for you. I just want to say there's been a lot of talk about the sewage plant, and I'm going to reiterate again.
Yeah. We're both having problems tonight.
Right. And that any fee increase to the current users should just be for the current user. If we're going to expand the plant, that's fine, but those costs need to go towards future hookup fees and not be borne on to the current users who already paid their hookup fees and their front foot assessments and everything. And our rates have gone up dramatically in the last few years. I remember it started out like $100, $110, now it's up to $170 a month. It's ridiculous. And now we're going to go up. We're going to go up 3 more times. This is ridiculous, and not what I think most of you campaigned for when you ran for election. Rate taxes, fees. Is that what O'Malley or Ehrlich ran against O'Malley on? Taxes and fees are the same thing. That's what we're doing. Raising landfill fees and we're raising sewer fees. What's the difference? It's a tax increase.
Joe, I think you meant a quarter, not
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
Quarter.
Quarter.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak? Ron?
Sorry for being late here. I was at this morning's meeting, and I wasn't able to be here in the beginning of the meeting or spend the whole meeting with you. However, I'd like to give some constructive criticism on how the meeting went this morning. When I got here, Scott Flanagan was giving a presentation on the Department of Public Works on water treatment plants. And again, I don't want anybody to take offense to this, but I think it would work best when these meetings are held that the council people wait till the end to present their questions. Now, I know Councilman Hodge, you asked many people, please wait till the presentation is completed before you ask questions. But I know that, and I don't mean to pick on you, Councilwoman Brumell, but you kept butting in on Scott Flanagan. And this meeting should have taken probably a half hour less than what it did. The questions you were asking him, he eventually got to explaining further down, but you kept pushing him along. And I know it answered your questions up front that you unanswered, but for the rest of us who are in the audience, it pulls things out of order, and we have a difficult time following what's happening. So it almost feels like a desperation move on your part to control the meeting. And Councilman Hodge is in charge of the meeting, and I'd just like to see things kept in order, and just wait till the end of the presentation. Keep a list of all your questions, because that list of 25 questions you had today probably would have been about 3 if you just waited till the end for him to answer what his presentation was. So again, that's all right. You can say what you want,
I was
but
so excited he was giving.
but I don't mean any offense to you. I just don't want to see, there's an order of things to come, and Councilman Hodge is in charge, and he had asked you many times to just please let somebody complete their presentation and then ask your questions. So anyway, with all due respect, that's all I wanted to bring up. Thank you very much.
Okay, that ends the public comment section of our meeting. Keep it short, please.
I'll get 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
Harold Mechanic, Elk Neck Peninsula, also known as Peninsula Paradise. One of the council members suggested that she like to have tools to get the job done. This follows up what Mr. Lobos was just saying. I have a tool for a council person. She's out of order.
Just keep it respectful.
Come on.
Next time you have trouble holding your tongue at a meeting, this is duct tape. You need to put some of this in your toolbox. She's out of order. You're not authorized to use that. Use that, and I'm not done.
What's the penalty? Mr. Hodge, we have.
How about the penalty? How about the penalty using this piece of duct tape now?
You're supposed to respect this process, but you know he's not supposed to be
You'll
doing
have your
that.
time in a minute. All right, is that it, Harold?
That is. Thank you.
This ends the public comment section. Thank everyone for their comments. The council will now have their chance to speak, and I ask them to do the same. Please be respectful and civil. Okay. Councilman Dunn, do you have any comments?
Thanks for coming to see.
Councilman.
The microphones are dead.
No.
Hello, hear me?
Yeah.
I have no comments this evening.
Councilwoman Bowlesby.
Yeah, I just wanted to report on a couple of things. On Thursday, May 11th, Dr. McCarthy and I went to Charles County. We were invited there, I was invited there and asked Alan here with me to talk to their charter board. Charles County is a code home rule county, and they're investigating charter government, and it went real well. The other thing that I wanted to bring to people's attention is that at the drug forum, evidently, one of the citizens mentioned that it was a shame that none of the other council people were there. And what I wanted to point out was that the council people have to be many places, and we're only one person. And Mr. Hodge and Terry Moore were somewhere. Alan and I were down in Charles County, and that's why we weren't at that drug forum. It wasn't that we didn't want to be, it was that we had made other commitments. And I'm looking at my calendar and seeing 3 or 4 things that I should be at on several nights, and I've got to pick one of them. And that's it.
Councilwoman Brunel?
First of all,
Are the mics,
President-
excuse me, are the mics working?
Yeah, you have to get closer to
Yeah, it
him.
is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, yeah.
Speak close.
Well, I would suggest that, you know, if we follow a process and we respect the quorum and being respectful and civil, we need to agree on what that is. And, just wanted to point that out. The reason, I had so many questions for Director Flanagan is because, I had asked a lot of these questions before, and as President Hodge had alluded to on the day of the consent order, the information coming out of DPW is pretty restrictive in why we were going with the MBR process, and why, you know, he needed to validate why that process was chosen, what studies were done to compare. He was positive that there were comparison studies, but from what I see now, really there wasn't. Apparently the DPW workers hopped on a plane to check out the MBR process in 2 different locations. On three separate occasions, I asked that DPW director answer, what is the projected date or timeline of when we were gonna reach our capacity at Seneca Point of 2 MGD? What were the allocations already taken up at Seneca Point, and what was the shelf life? 3 times I asked for the answers to these questions, and he did not answer, did not provide the answers. I need the information to make an educated decision. You know, it's amazing, I see certain people that are out in the audience, always full of questions, but they have no questions when it comes to certain projects. So, I just wanted to point that out. For those of you who want to help make Cecil County a more beautiful place, there's the event, the River Sweep is this Saturday. You can register at hitourtrails.com. It starts at 9 o'clock and goes until 12. You get, I believe, a free t-shirt and a free lunch. And also wanted to report on the drug awareness forum we held, community policing. It was at the college. It was video recorded, and I'll go ahead and post that on my website. It was very informative, and I wanted to thank both Sheriff Payne and Sheriff Janney for attending. A lot of good information about different ways that we can community police. Really good point about you can't community police if you don't have enough police infrastructure for the population that you have. And we need to look at the hard numbers. Once again, just having the right information helps us make the best decisions. Thank you.
County Executive Moore and I attended the Teacher of the Year event in Rising Sun, and I have to tell you that we have some outstanding teachers in our public school system. They may not all be perfect, but I can assure you that there are some very exceptional teachers. Last year, the Teacher of the Year in Cecil County also won Teacher of the Year in Maryland, and is a finalist for Teacher of the Year in the entire United States. So we do have some great teachers, and I have gone to this event several years in a row because I think it's a very worthy event. There's nothing more important than the education of our children and their future. So the more that we can recognize and congratulate those that do exceptional work for the citizens of Cecil County is a good thing. Just one more comment about civility and respect. I do believe that every citizen should have their opinion, even if it's different than mine or any other council member. I think that we should not expect you all to agree with this all the time. And I'm not speaking to you, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular, but I do appreciate different opinions, and I think that we want to have some diversified opinions and ideas, so we can't just shut somebody down because they don't believe in what we have to say or agree with us. So the fact is that we can do that in a very civil way, and I would hope that we would continue to be respectful of each other moving forward. So the next issue on our agenda is the introduction of resolutions. We have several introduction of resolutions tonight, starting with resolution number 35-2013. This is an appointment to the Animal Care and Control Oversight Committee. Would the council manager please read the introduction into, or the short title into the record, please?
Resolution 35-2013, a resolution to confirm the appointment by the county executive of Laura Hudson to the Cecil County Animal Care and Control Oversight Committee, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted April 16, 2013, scheduled for consideration May 7, 2013.
This resolution is to confirm the appointment by the executive to replace a member of the Animal Care and Control Oversight Committee. Do any of the members of the council have any questions or comments regarding this resolution?
I just have a little issue. There are different forms that we're using for the application for appointment to boards and commissions, and I think we need to all use the same form.
No, these are forms that the county executive uses. This is not our.
There are 3 forms here, 3 different ones that I'm looking at for the 3 applications that we're looking at.
I think that some of these are older.
Okay, but I just think that we should get rid of the old ones and use the
Okay,
new ones.
then you want the council manager to send a letter to the county executive and
Yeah.
ask her to.
And let's just get it right, that's all. And the other thing is, I think that I talked about the fact that on the old form, this form, it says political party required for the Ethics Commission. The Ethics Commission is the only time that it's required. I wonder because both these people filled it out. And I don't care what political party they are.
Yeah, that was the old form, because we did remove that.
Okay. Is there any other comments or questions about this particular resolution?
Now, Laura Hudson's the one that we pay for taking care of the animals. Am I right?
Her group received some compensation to take care for the
Horses.
horses that were taken from the property that was neglecting them.
And at the time, I objected to it because we have so many rescues in the county that are not reimbursed, but there was an agreement made in advance for her assistance. And I have heard very good things about her rescue, that she's highly regarded.
Does she have any other affiliation with Buddies for Life?
None that I know. Okay, this resolution will be considered on May 7th of 2013. Resolution number 36-2013, appointments to Stewart District Commission. Would the council manager please read this resolution into the record for introduction?
Resolution number 36-2013, a resolution to confirm the appointment by the county executive of Michael W. Dawson and the reappointment by the county executive of Milt D. Diggins to the Cecil County Historic District Commission, introduced by the county council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted April 16, 2013, scheduled for consideration on May 7, 2013.
Do any of the council members have any questions or comments regarding this resolution? Hearing none, this resolution will be considered on May 7, 2013. Next resolution is number 37-2013, Appointment Redistricting Commission. This resolution has been postponed until at least the next meeting because the council members want more time to evaluate new applicants. If anyone would like to apply for the redistricting commission, please send your applications to the council manager on or before Monday of next week. The next resolution is number 38-2013. This is a resolution in opposition of the Maryland Firearm Safety Act. Would the council manager please read this into the record for introduction?
Resolution number 38-2013, a resolution stating the council's opposition to the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013, introduced by Council Vice President Alan McCarthy, introduced in order posted April 16, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on May 7, 2013.
Councilman McCarthy, do you want to have a brief discussion on what you're offering up with this resolution?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, Mr. President. We have a fundamental principle. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution protects the rights of citizens of Cecil County, the state of Maryland, and all other states of our union to keep and bear arms. This is an inalienable right that is virtually as old as the great country itself, having been adopted in 1791 as part of the United States Bill of Rights. The right to keep and bear arms is granted to us under the Second Amendment, is now at issue by virtue of the Maryland General Assembly's recent enactment of the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013, which bans the sale of 45 types of rifles, limits the size of magazines, and requires a license to buy a handgun and to submit the fingerprinting as part of the application process. The council is, of course, quite concerned about the constitutionality of the act, and specifically whether the act has been enacted in violation of the Second Amendment rights of the citizens of Cecil County to keep and bear arms. The council has determined that it cannot remain idle in respect of this important issue. Rather, the constitutionality of the Maryland Firearms Safety Act should be closely analyzed by Cecil County government in order to protect the constitutional rights of the citizens of Cecil County to keep and bear arms under the Second Amendment. In furtherance thereof, the council will take up a resolution that includes the following 3 items. First, a statement proclaiming the council's opposition to the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013. Second, a pledge of support for and encouragement of the citizens of Cecil County to initiate a petition drive to put the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013 on referendum so the voters of Cecil County and the state of Maryland can lawfully assert their opposition to the act. Third, and finally, an analysis by Cecil County government regarding the constitutionality of the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013 to be undertaken with the intention of ascertaining whether the Second Amendment right of the citizens of Cecil County to keep and bear arms has been violated by this act. Now, with the President's approval, I can basically read the resolution.
If you'd like to.
Whereas the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution protects the rights to keep and bear arms, and whereas the Second Amendment was adopted in 1791 as part of the United States Bill of Rights, whereas the Maryland General Assembly has enacted the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013, which bans the sale of 45 types of rifles, limits the size of magazines, and requires a license to buy a handgun to submit to fingerprinting as part of the application process. And whereas the council believes that the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013 may violate the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, whereas the council desires to proclaim its opposition to the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013, whereas the council believes the constitutionality of the Maryland Firearms Act should be closely analyzed by Cecil County government in order to protect the constitutional right of the citizens of Cecil County to keep and bear arms under the Second Amendment. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Cecil County government of Maryland opposes the Maryland Firearms Safety Act, and it be further resolved that the County Council of Cecil County encourages its citizens to support the petition drive to put the Maryland Firearms Safety Act on referendum so that the voters of Maryland can oppose the act. And it be further resolved that the County Council of Cecil County endeavors to engage in analysis of the constitutionality of the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013 in order to determine whether the Second Amendment rights of the citizens of the county have been violated.
Are there any questions or comments? Are there any questions from the other council members on this resolution? The only thing I want to say is this resolution does not preclude the council or Cecil County government for taking any other action in the future regarding this the Maryland Firearms Safety Act of 2013. If there's other action that may be applicable to opposing the bill, we may take that under consideration also. So at the end of the day, we will be evaluating all options and considering others if we feel that it's necessary and legitimate. So we will be considering this resolution on May 7th with the other resolutions that have just been introduced today. That's the final introduction of resolutions, and we're going to move on to consideration of resolutions. These resolutions are all previously introduced, and we will move on to the first one, resolution number 19-2013. This is an appointment to the Public Safety Pension Plan Board of Trustees, introduced on April 2nd, 2013. Would the council manager please read the title of this resolution?
Resolution number 19-2013, a resolution to confirm the appointment of Raymond Hydell from the county executive to the Public Safety Pension Plan Board of Trustees, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced in order posted April 2nd, 2013, scheduled for consideration April 16th, 2013.
Thank you. Mr. Wine, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions from the council? May I hear a motion to approve?
I move that we approve Mr. Hydell for Public Safety Pension Board.
Would you also list the resolution number, please?
Resolution 19-2013.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 19-2013. Is there any further discussion?
Well, the credentials, do we have anything on Mr. Heidel?
I can speak on his behalf. The gentleman is a financial planner. He runs the Five River Advisory Service. He's very, very well qualified.
Any other questions, comments?
Well, just in the future, if we could have resumes, more information.
I believe that was provided upon introduction, the application.
All right, will the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Bolsley?
Aye.
Mr. Dunn?
Aye.
Ms. Brumell?
Aye.
President Hodge?
Aye. Okay, there was 5 ayes, no noes, therefore the resolution passes. Resolution number 21-2013. This is an amendment to the budget for fiscal year 2013 regarding the neighborhood youth panel. Would the council manager please read the full title of the resolution?
Resolution number 21-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive an increase in state grant funds for the FY 2013 Neighborhood Youth Panel Grant, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced in order posted April 2nd, 2013, scheduled for consideration April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have any additional comments on this resolution?
No, sir.
Council members, you've heard the resolution. Do you have any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve resolution number 21-2013?
Yes, I move that we approve resolution 21-2013, the budget ordinance, 2013, the neighborhood youth panel grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 21-2013. Are there any further discussion? Council manager, would you please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bolsleby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn,
Aye.
Ms. Brumell,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. This resolution was passed unanimously. The resolution passes. Resolution number 22-2013. This is an amendment to the budget for fiscal year 2013 regarding senior center operating grant. Council manager, please read the short title of this resolution.
Resolution number 22-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the Senior Services and Community Transit Fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive state grant funds for the FY 2013 Senior Center Operating Grant, introduced by the Council President on behalf of the County Executive, introduced in order posted April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No. No.
Are there any questions from the council members? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 22-2013?
I move that we approve resolution 22-2013, the senior center operating grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 22-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn,
Aye.
Ms. Brumell,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. Resolution number 23-2013, this is an amendment, budget amendment for fiscal year 2013 regarding the state homeland security program. Would the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 23-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive federal grant funds from the FY 2013 State Homeland Security Program, introduced by the Council President on behalf of the County Executive, introduced in order posted April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration April 16, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Council members, are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 23-2013?
Yes, I move that we approve resolution 23-2013, the State Homeland Security Program.
Is there a second?
Second.
Council, there's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 23-2013. Is there any discussion?
Should we be adding the dollar value of these, changes into?
I had asked the council manager in future resolutions to add the dollar amount into the short title.
Okay, well, it's, for the audience's benefit, it's $78,896. That's all. I just think that
I agree. Mr. Mass is going to do that.
Okay.
Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, will the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn, Ms. Brumell,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is approved. Resolution number 24-2013, this is also a budget amendment regarding the Bryce Justice Assistant Grant. Would the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 24-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive federal grant funds for the FY 2000 Burn Justice Assistant Grant in the amount of $36,915, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted on April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Are there any questions from the council members? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 24-2013?
Yes, I move that we approve resolution 24-2013, the Byron Justice Assistance Grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? Council manager, would you please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn,
Aye.
Ms. Brumell,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is approved. Resolution number 25-2013, this is also a budget amendment regarding the subsidized group assistance housing grant. Would the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 25-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the Senior Services and Community Transit Fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive an increase in state grant funds for the FY 2013 subsidized group assistant housing grant for $13,638, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Are there any questions from the council members? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 25-2013?
I move we approve resolution 25-2013, subsidized group assistance housing grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 25-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn, Ms. Brunel,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is approved. Resolution number 26-2013, amendment, budget amendment, protective order advocacy and representation project. Would the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 26-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive Maryland Department of Family Administration grant funds for the FY 2013 Protective Order Advocacy and Representation Project for $25,127. Introduced by the Council President on behalf of the County Executive. Introduced and order posted on April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the council members?
I would just point out that on page 2, second paragraph, we need to change the date, it says 2103, it needs to be 2013.
Got that?
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve resolution number 26-2013?
With the changes previously mentioned, I move that we approve 26-2013 Protective Order Advocacy and Representation Project.
Is there a second? Donna Groom, second. There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 26-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn, Ms. Brunel,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. Next resolution is 27-2013. This is also a budget amendment regarding the Liquor Board Project Crossroads Grant. Would the council manager please read the title?
Resolution number 27-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive state grant funds for the FY 2013 Liquor Board Project Crossroads Grant for $13,813. Introduced by the County Council President on behalf of the County Executive. Introduced and order posted on April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Are there any questions from the council members? Is there a motion to approve resolution 27-2013?
I move we approve resolution 27-2013, the Liquor Board Project Crossroads Grant.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 27-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn, Ms. Brunel, President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. Resolution number 28-2013 is a budget amendment regarding the wastewater fund. Council manager, please read the short title.
Resolution number 28-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the wastewater fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to increase the amount expended on equipment rental and sludge disposal for $167,000. Introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted April 2nd, 2013, scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I don't.
Council members, do you have any questions? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 28-2013?
Yes, I move we approve resolution 28-2013, it's a wastewater fund. I might, just mention that $102,000 is basically to rent a standby generator, and the other $65,000 was dollars for additional sludge disposal fees.
I'd like to point out that
Wait,
that was
wait.
discussion.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 28-2013. Is there any discussion?
That wasn't the only amount, that was for additional equipment rental costs.
That's what it said.
That was, we had to rent a generator because the one we had blew up. And then there was also,
$65,000 additional sludge.
so that money also went to the landfill fund.
Yes.
Right? It never left the county.
Right.
Well, I was somewhat surprised by the additional cost of $102,000 for, in addition to what we've already had set aside.
We went all
Could you tell
through
me
this
what the
last
total
week.
cost was for, the rental generator? Do you have that now? The total cost?
Yeah, this is, the 102,000, I guess, it doesn't represent the total, I don't know, Mr. Hollenbaugh, I believe, might have presented that
Right.
April 2nd, I don't recall.
It was caused by the fact that the emergency generator itself was the issue, and therefore, when it died, they had to provide a rental, and then the equipment manufacturer was not able to provide a new piece immediately. Therefore, the rental continued until a new piece of equipment showed up. It was not a predictable event.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 28-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, will the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby?
Aye.
Mr. Dunn?
Aye.
Ms. Brunel?
Aye.
President Hodge?
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. Resolution number 29-2013, this is also a budget amendment regarding the Burn Justice Assistance Grant. Will the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 29-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive a carryover of federal grant funds for the FY 2011 Burn Justice Assistant Grant of $220, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced in order posted April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, anything to add?
No, I don't.
Are there any questions from the council members? May I have a motion to approve resolution number 29-2013?
I move we approve resolution 29-2013, the Burn Justice Assistance Grant.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Ms. There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 29-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn, Ms. Brumell,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. Resolution number 30-2013, this is also a budget amendment regarding the volunteer recognition event. Mr. Council Manager, please read the short title.
Resolution number 30-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to increase the amount expended on the 2013 volunteer recognition event to $2,985, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced in order posted April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
I'd like to add one thing, and that is that this event is going to be free to the taxpayers because we are seeking out sponsors from businesses and individuals that may want to support it. So it's anticipated not to cost the county taxpayers any dollars, but I have to tell you that these volunteers spend hours and hours and hours of free time on their own to make Cecil County a better place to live. So even if we had to pay for it, I think it'd be well worthwhile. Are there any other questions from the council members? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve resolution number 30-2013?
I gladly promote resolution 20-2013, the volunteer recognition program.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 30-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn, Ms. Brumell,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. Resolution number 31-2013. This is also a budget amendment for fiscal year 2013 regarding Sheriff's Office Project Crossroads Grant. Would the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 31-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the general fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive state grant funds for the FY 2013 Sheriff's Office Project Crossroads Grant for $4,100, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced in order posted on April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Roberts, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the council members? I'd like to entertain a motion to approve resolution number 31-2013.
I move we approve resolution 31-2013, the Sheriff's Office Project Crossroad Grant.
Is there a second? There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 31-2013. Are there any further discussion on this resolution or motion? Hearing none, will the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy,
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby,
Aye.
Mr. Dunn, Ms. Brumell,
Aye.
President Hodge.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. Resolution number 32-2013, this is also a budget amendment regarding foreclosure prevention grant. Would the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 32-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the Housing Fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive state grant funds for the FY 2013 foreclosure prevention grant for $21,572, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Are there any questions from the council members? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 32-2013?
Yes, I move we approve resolution number 32-2013, foreclosure prevention grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 32-2013. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Will the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby?
Aye.
Mr. Dunn? Ms. Brunel? President Hodge?
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. The next resolution is 33-2013. This is also a budget amendment for fiscal year 2013 comprehensive counseling grant. Would the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 33-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the Housing Fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive a carryover of federal grant funds for the FY 2012 Comprehensive Counseling Grant for $3,444, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted on April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Council members, do you have any questions on this resolution? Is there hearing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Yes, I move that we approve resolution number 33-2013, the comprehensive counseling grant.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 33-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby?
Aye.
Mr. Dunn? Ms. Brunel?
Aye.
President Hodge?
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. The final resolution for consideration is resolution number 34-2013, a budget amendment for fiscal year 2013. This is a mortgage modification and scams assistant grant. Will the council manager please read the short title?
Resolution number 34-2013, a resolution approving an amendment to the annual budget and appropriation ordinance for Cecil County, Maryland, for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013, to provide the Housing Fund with additional expenditure appropriation authority to receive a carryover of federal grant funds for the FY 2010 Mortgage Modification and Mortgage Scams Assistant Grant for $5,698, introduced by the council president on behalf of the county executive, introduced and order posted April 2nd, 2013, and scheduled for consideration on April 16th, 2013.
Mr. Robinson, anything you'd like to add?
No, I don't.
Are there any questions from the council members? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 34-2013?
Yes, I move we approve resolution number 34-2013, the mortgage modification and mortgage scams assistance plan.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to approve resolution number 34-2013. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the council manager to please call the roll.
Dr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby?
Aye.
Mr. Dunn? Ms. Brumell? President Hodge?
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution is hereby approved. The next item on our agenda is new business. There's a budget amendment presented to the council by the Cecil County Public Schools. Mr. Robinson, do you have anything you'd like to say about this?
Yes, actually I do want to first thank the council for their patience on going through all the amendments they just did. I know it was not necessarily exciting, but it was productive. This item here is for $73,114. It accomplishes essentially two things. It is the Cecil County Public Schools meeting the requirements of the state of Maryland law, shall we say, with regard to how the boards of education of a county interact with the legislative body of the county. This relates to a lot of small items in here, but essentially it relates to grants. And it is putting the county legislature on note that they have made some changes in their grants in accordance with the grants that they have received, and that in accordance with Maryland Education Code Section 5-105, they are passing this on for your acceptance.
Are there any questions from the council members? They have a motion to approve the budget transfer.
I move we approve the budget transfer.
I'll second it.
Will the council manager, is there any further discussion? There's been a motion and a second to approve the public school operating budget amendment. I'd like to say to the council manager, would you assign the number to the budget, the school budget amendments, assign some identifying, because I'm sure that there's going to be more than one.
Is this the first one on this year?
Yes.
We'll make it 1/2013.
So, we have a motion and a second. Will the council manager please call the roll?
Dr. McCarthy?
Aye.
Ms. Bowlesby?
Aye.
Mr. Dunn? Ms. Brumell? President Hodge?
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. The resolution to approve the budget amendment from the public schools passes. Is there any further business with the council tonight? Hearing none, may I have a motion for adjournment?
Move we adjourn the meeting. April 14th.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been